What is up, pen and ink masters? Excited about being here, ready to help and serve and answer questions. Mecca number 2, if you're around, love to see you in the comments. Let me know that y'all can hear me and see me okay. Okay. All right, Mecca, I just want to make sure you can hear me there. Yes, perfect. All right. So we'll give it a few minutes before I get into things, and just as people are coming in here, go ahead. Nice background. It's you work from home. I kind of just twisted the computer. This is the living room. Perfect, loud and clear. As we wait for more and more people to join us, go ahead and post any questions that you have, and I'll just make sure I can scroll up. So don't be afraid about missing any questions, but we'll kind of go through the Q&A at the end here. But yeah, I'm really excited to speak to all of you, my Nigerian brothers and sisters. I might not sound like Nigerian. I grew up in Canada. My dad, he is from Onitsha. Is anyone from Onitsha in this group? I believe that's just north of Port Harcourt by maybe a few hours. I've been to Nigeria only one time, but it was an amazing experience. Very lively people we are, aren't we? Love it. I absolutely love it. And we got Derek Wisdom here, and excellent. Miracle. Excellent. And Mecca, you just let me know when you want me to your accent has betrayed you. You just let me know when you want me to dive into the content here once we'll let people get on there. I believe it's like 8 p.m. over in Nigeria right now. Okay. All right. So you guys got a nice little community here. I was looking through and reading some of your posts in there, and it is 8 p.m. Yeah. I was reading through some of your posts, and you guys got a lot going on there. It's so cool to see another growing community. Just sent some invites to our guys now. Yeah, we'll give people a few minutes. I know how these things go. It's all good. Go ahead, dive in whenever. All right, perfect. So we'll do that. Like I said, any questions that you have, go ahead, ask them in the comments. And if you are watching a replay of this, I don't know if that'll be possible, but if it is, go ahead, ask in wherever it's posted for the replay, and I'll do my best to get to those questions. First thing I want to know is the majority of you, are you all writing your own books? My guess is yes, just from kind of seeing the conversations and everything that's been going on. I'll give you a bit of my story, my backing, and how I ended up in the self-publishing field here. And good evening to you too. I grew up in Canada, hence the Canadian flag back there, and my wife is from Mexico. And in 2015, we were having our first child, and she wanted to be closer to family, and so we came down here. And I was at a point where I was able to continue working the job I was working from back home from my computer, but it wasn't a long-term solution. And so I had to find a way to bring in some additional income and eventually replace that job. And I ended up stumbling across what is Kindle self-publishing. And I do it a little differently. I do have one book that I wrote myself, but I outsource the majority of my books. I look at myself as a marketer, publishing house, so to speak, where I have a team of writers who are writing different books for me on various topics. And I publish those books, I market them, and collect the royalties from them. The reason I chose to go that route versus writing my own books is writing for me is very difficult. I applaud all of you who are able to put, I've seen pictures there with, people with pen to paper and their families around, and that's just incredible that you're able to portray your message, get it down on paper, and create a book so that the world can read whatever message it is. But here's what I've learned. Most writers, they're great at writing, but marketing their book is an area that they lack. And if you aren't a great marketer, if you don't have the tools, the resources, the know-how on how to market your book, what good's a book if nobody's reading it? And that is the area that I specialize in. I'm able to get eyes on books. And primarily I use the Amazon platform. But that is the key thing. And that's where I found that most writers struggle with. They struggle on getting book sales. So if increasing your book sales is something that you want to see more of, can you let me know that in the comments there? Just give me a yes or what? Yeah, give me a yes. Give me a yes if you're looking at increasing your book sales. Lucy, great to see you here. Great to see you. Glad you can make it. Awesome. Yes, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through the process here, and I want to first talk about money versus your message. And the reason I want to talk about this first is just to set the precedence that I like making money. I'm not gonna lie. I like it. I think money allows you to live the life you want. It allows you to help more people. It allows you to help your family, your friends. We live in an economic world. Whether you're in Nigeria, you're in Canada, you're in Mexico, like where I am right now, we all need money, and I'm sure we could all agree we'd all like a little bit more money. So I am not about saying that you need to compromise your message that you want to portray in your book in order to make sales. I'm going to show you how you can still write the books that you want, write the message that you want, but I'm going to show you how to market that in a way that's going to make you more money. It's going to make you more sales. It's going to get your book more visible on the Amazon platform. Because you think about this, I don't know if any of you have the goal, the quote unquote dream to have your book income. Would you like to have your book income replace the income that you're currently earning from your job? Let me know if is anyone here an actual full-time writer where you are, that's what you do. You're a full-time writer. You don't have a job. You're making enough from your royalties from Amazon that you don't have to work another job. Do we have a few of those people on the call right now? If no, just say no. That's totally okay. But I'm sure that's something that a lot of us would like to have. And I was able to replace my job with the income just from my books alone. It took me roughly, I started publishing back in August of 2016, and I left my job in spring of 2017. So however many months that is. Nick says, oh, well, for now I have addictives to my writing, even though I don't have a job anymore. Okay, no, got a day job. That's what I like to be working towards. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, if you guys would like Mick says here, go ahead and invite more people to this. There's an invite friends button. It looks like you can click that and just make sure we get some more people on here. Like I said, we will have some time for some Q&A afterwards. I don't know if we have a time limit. Emeka, do we have a time limit? I'm good for time. So I can chat here as long as you guys and ladies want me here. I'm good. Okay, my passion is helping people. So I'm good here. Somebody just gave me an angry face. So all right. So let's talk about the first stage. So once you have your idea for your book, you have to go into the research stage. And are most of you doing fiction? Is this mostly a fiction, mostly fiction or nonfiction here? From scrolling through the group, it did seem like it was majority fiction. That you're writing mostly fiction, but I did see some nonfiction. I just want to kind of get a sense here for those of you who are here live. Is it fiction or nonfiction here? So seems like there's a little delay between what I'm saying and I guess when you guys are getting it. So I'll ask the questions, keep talking, and then just go back to it. So okay, so nonfiction does a bit of fiction, bit of poetry. Cool. So either way, the research process is the exact same. You want to keep in mind, you have an idea, but what you want to do is remember this: your idea, what you want to write about, is not as important as what the market demands. Because if you want to write about whatever, somebody give me a topic to kind of talk about. I see a lot of nonfiction. That's great because I specialize in nonfiction publishing. Somebody give me a topic here to use as an example for nonfiction. Because we might want to, we might have this idea. I used to love fiction, but now I'm into nonfiction. Realize the knowledge of fiction helps me write nonfiction. Yeah, they're totally intertwined. Fiction and nonfiction. I have students all the time that go from fiction to nonfiction and back and forth. Book marketing mastery. All right, there's a nonfiction title. How to Fall in Love. That's another one. Okay, so let's talk about the how to fall in love, right? So you might have a great idea. Okay, I'm going to write this book on how to fall in love. What you want to find out is, what are people looking for when they're going to Amazon to purchase books on, I guess this would be relationships. There's a term, your keyword is I'd say it's the number one most important fact to figure out when you're looking at marketing your book. You have to find out when people are going to the Amazon platform and they're typing something into the search bar, right? They're typing in that search term or that keyword, right? They might not be typing in how to fall in love. They might be typing in something like relationship advice for men or relationship advice for women. Or I'm just trying to think off the top of my head here. How to stay married, or how to find a relationship, how to find a partner. You have to pinpoint the search term that your potential readers are typing into Amazon. That is the most important key that most authors overlook. Because if you have this book title and you go to the Amazon store and your book title is the only title that comes up when you type it in, that's a problem. You want to cater your book to a topic or to a niche or to, right, that people are already actively searching for in the Amazon store. All right. Does that make sense so far? Just give me a yes if that makes sense. Let's make sure I didn't miss any questions there. Okay. All right. Yeah, Mecca says, so wow, we need to focus on keywords. Keywords are everything. I tell my students that as long as you get your keyword research down right, you can mess up everything else. You'll still make money with your books. But you have to have the keyword down right. You want to find what are people already actively searching for, and then create a book around that arena. Now, like I said, it doesn't mean that you have to change your book, so to speak. You can cater that book around that title very easily. So since makes sense, excellent. Right. So Mecca asked, so before we commence writing a book, we must write down the keywords. Yeah, have an idea. Have an idea before you're going to put pen to paper. Before you put pen to paper, you want to know, what are those main keywords? What's that main topic that I want to be writing about? What, especially in nonfiction, we ask, what's the problem I'm going to solve for my readers, right? So somebody who's looking for advice on relationships, let's dive deep. Let's figure out what's the problem that they're facing, right? And we could go into various things, right? It could just be that they're an introvert and they're very shy. So that could be a whole book in itself, right? And you might be like, well, how does that tie into relationships? Well, if being an introvert, maybe they're very shy speaking to women, right? Or shy speaking to men. So you might cater a book and write that book to that person. Because then and then find out how do shy people start a relationship? That might be the keyword, for example. And then you write a book catered to that individual. You're going to get way more sales because now you're catering it to that individual. So it's okay to write on keywords in the board. Yeah, definitely. So Max says, is it okay to write those keywords on the board during the mapping session before we go to outlining? Absolutely. Now, here's another thing about keywords. There are what we call profitable keywords, and there's non-profitable keywords. Amazon, are you all familiar with Amazon's bestseller rank, their BSR? Just give me a yes if you're familiar with that term. All Amazon products have what's called a best-selling rank, or bestsellers rank. And it's a number that starts at 1, meaning it's the most bought product on Amazon. And it goes up to, I don't know how many millions. Okay. For nonfiction Kindle books, you want to find your keywords. You want to find your keywords that have a best-selling rank or bestsellers rank of under 100,000. Excuse me, especially in the more competitive niches. So you want a bestsellers rank of under 100,000. Of course, the lower the better. So I would challenge you, those of you who, do most of you have your books up on Amazon? Probably was a good question to ask maybe in the beginning, huh? I'm sure we are. I'm sure you do. And just on that note, if you don't have your books on Amazon, you should have your books on Amazon, because what's the name? What's the statistics are in my book, but Amazon sells 1.6 million books, ebooks a day, 1.6 million books a day. And it's something ridiculous. Like 80% of online shopping is done on Amazon. Also to have a foreign audience that buys the book. Now, here's another point that I want to talk about. What market are you selling your books to? Okay. Now, there is, I don't know if there's a Nigerian Amazon. I doubt it. I know they have like Amazon India, Amazon Italy. You really want to focus on selling your book in the US Amazon marketplace. The US Amazon. The reason being is that's where the majority of business is conducted. And so I always tell my students, right? My students who are from overseas, and they, you know, I was speaking to one of my German students, like, I really want to sell my book on the Germany Amazon. Say, sell it on the Amazon US platform first, make some money, learn how it works, because it's easier to sell it on the Amazon.com platform than any other Amazon platform. Once you're making money and you understand this process, then you can take your book, you can get it translated to a different language if you want, and you can sell it on your local Amazon platform. So I really encourage you, focus on selling to the US market first. You're just going to have, what's a great analogy? Like, selling to the US market first on Amazon is like learning how to swim in the kiddie pool versus trying to swim in the big person's pool right away. As weird as that sounds, because like you think the big person's pool would be the bigger pool, but you want to start where it's going to be easier. It's going to be easier on the US marketplace. Now, I don't know how to pronounce the name here. Apologies. But I tried searching for keywords on Amazon, but it didn't work. Like, I must be registered first to access for this service. No, keywords are just what you're typing into that little search bar at the top of the Amazon page. It's just what you type in to search for a product. That's what those are your keywords essentially. As Max says, most Nigerians getting the books on Kindle isn't a problem. We need to know how to bring those books before the foreign audience. We need to know how to bring the books before the foreign audience that can buy them, because the Kindle we use is an app that undergoes a lot of bypass. What do you mean by that? I'm a little confused on that question there, Mecca. We need to know how to bring the books before the foreign audience. When you say foreign audience, what foreign audience? Would that be the local Nigerian audience? Or would you say, like, is the US audience the foreign audience? Because we buy them on the Kindle, and we use the app that undergoes a lot of bypass. I just don't understand exactly what you mean by that. Princess says, yes, Mecca, targeting them is it. All right, American audience, US audience. Right, so Mecca, I'm not understanding that full question there. American audience, US audience. We need to know how to bring the books. Right. So I guess to bring the books is really like what we talked about. To get them in front of that audience, you have to select the keywords that they're already typing into Amazon. So it's all going to go back to the keywords. That's where it all starts, right? You can't just create a book title that you think is going to be catchy. You have to have the first, the first word or two needs to be that keyword that person's typing into Amazon, and then your subtitle will be the catchy part of the headline that gets them to read your description. We don't buy Kindle devices over here, okay? So people download the app, and there's a lot of bypass to make it functional. So I don't have a Kindle either. I just have an iPad, and I use the Kindle app. Is that what you're doing as well? Like, consuming the books, I didn't think would be really an issue just because you just download the app, no? But of course, it might be a little different over there. Are there any other questions on niche research, on keywords? Is there anything else that you would like a little bit more clarity on, or you're something you're unsure of before I move over to some of the other points that I want to talk about? The app has issues, lots of blockages due to some restrictions. That's interesting. That is interesting. Yeah, no, I'm not familiar with those type of restrictions. You know, I'm down in Mexico, and you know there are certain restrictions here as well. I'm sure that it's a little different over in Nigeria. But once again, you know, that's why focusing on just getting your books in front of the American audience should be the top priority if you're looking at generating the income first, right? Because you know, like when I'm publishing my books, okay, it's the majority of my customers are from the US, and then they're in the UK. I'm not worried about the other countries right now, right? Because that's where the majority of the income's coming in. So I'm always focused on those two things. So, all right, Miracle says, continue, sir, with the other points. With pleasure. Cover design. This is something I've noticed with a lot of authors is they get, I want to say romantic. I like that term. They get romantic with their books and they want to do it all themselves. Do not, under any circumstance, create your own cover at all. At all. There is one exception where it's okay to create your own cover. You're a graphic designer. That's it. And if you're a graphic designer, you're probably not that great at writing. Don't create your own cover. You can get a cover created very, very cheaply, inexpensively. You can tell why I'm not a writer. I use a website, it's Fiverr.com. I'm sure some of you are familiar with Fiverr. You can get like gigs done for about $5 to $10. For nonfiction, you can spend $5 to $10, get a professional looking cover done. That will sell and make you money. One of my top students is bringing in somewhere over between $10,000 to $13,000 US a month right now. He spends $5 on his covers. You don't need a fancy cover. You don't need to spend $50 or $100 to get a cover done. If you're in fiction, it's a little different, but for nonfiction, have somebody who does this all the time, right? There are cover designers. This is what they do. They know how to use this. They know how to use the software and all of that. This is what they do. You outsource that and you spend $5 to $10. You have them give you a professional cover. Let me just see. Thank you for this. Do not create your own cover. Bingo. Yeah. Because remember, your cover, first thing people see before they read your title, long before they click on description, long before they click on buy, it's your cover. If your cover looks like it was designed by a 12-year-old using Microsoft Paint, nobody's going to, in their right mind, buy your book. Nobody. So you have to get a professional cover done for $5 or $10 by somebody who does this as their job. This will change so much for you. If you have a book right now that is not selling and you designed your cover, just get a new cover for it. Use some of the keyword methods that I've talked about, and there's a very, very high chance that you're going to start seeing a change in that. Just going to write down another point that I want to talk about as well. All right. I usually outsource my covers to Cheris Puller. He's a Don. Perfect. Excellent. Yes, Toby, right? That's the thing. That's why most authors, they don't bother looking at getting a cover done because they think that I'm going to have to spend $50, $100, $200 for a cover. No, $5 to $10 US. That's it. That's it. That's all you have to do to spend to get a professional cover done, I'll put it in fiverr.com. I just put it in the chat there, the link, fiverr.com. In fact, I have a YouTube video. I hope it's okay that I promote that. That I have a YouTube channel. You can go on there and I kind of show you how to find good cover designers on Fiverr. So much free resources is on my YouTube channel. So, awesome, perfect. All right. Another question I just thought of while we're talking about covers is how many of you have an ebook and your paperback up on Amazon versus how many of you are only selling your ebook right now? Let me know. Say ebook only or both in the comments here. Isn't it incredible that we're able to do this? I'm in Mexico, speaking to you on the other side of the world. Let's just take a moment and think about what we're actually doing. Technology is just unbelievable now. Okay, ebook only. Yes, both. I do have both on Amazon. Fantastic. Rule of thumb is nonfiction publishers do make the majority of their money with paperback sales, right? Okay, this is good. Both from Elvis. Nonfiction publishers make the majority of their income with paperback. So it's very important that you have both, even having an audiobook as well, because audiobooks are the fastest growing segment on how to consume information right now, especially for nonfiction. And on this note, I didn't even have audiobooks on here for you guys, but let's talk about it. When you have ebook, paperback, and audio, right? You now have cheap, more expensive, most expensive. Your audio version is usually the most expensive. People usually end up going with the two most expensive options. What does that mean for you? Well, that increases the royalties that Amazon pays you. So you just want to have three options because it just gives your customers more options to purchase. What if somebody lands on your Amazon page and they don't like ebooks? I have never read an ebook in my life. I hate them. I think they're the dumbest thing in the world. I don't have a physical book. I like physical books, right? I can just, fan myself when it's hot, the smell of them. I just like the physical books. I understand ebook readers, 10 times more convenient. You can get like 1,000 books in one. It's not for me. So if there's a book that I want and it's only available on ebook form, guess what? I'm not buying that book. I'm going to go shop somewhere else. So make sure you're giving your customers all options, ebook, paperback, and audio. Now, perfect. You gonna? Hopefully I'm getting that right. My dad always, gives me the backhand when I butcher Nigerian names. So my apologies. Audio. To get an audiobook created, you do not have to narrate it yourself at all. You can use a platform called ACX. It's owned by Amazon, okay? And using ACX, they have narrators on there that you can send a copy. You send them like a small script of your book. You'll get auditions. They'll read it. You can listen to who you like best. You can pick accents. You can pick where they're from. There's so much customization that you can do there. And then you can offer them, hey, I will pay you $20 per finished hour. I'll pay you $30, $40 per finished hour. For a 12,000 word book, that's usually what I recommend my students to start with, about a 12,000 word book. That takes about an hour and 20 minutes. So to get a 12,000 word book converted into an audio book, you're looking at usually around $60. That's it. This is something you just do once, and then you have it on there, and it's when somebody buys a 12,000 word audiobook, that's a $6 royalty, I believe, if my memory serves me right, that you're paid. So you make your money back very quickly. There is an option to do what's called a royalty split with a narrator as well, where you pay nothing up front, but then they get 50% of your audiobook sales for the next 7 years. So I don't recommend that, especially if maybe you don't have the $60 or whatever to create an audiobook right now, then hold off on it, save for it so you can pay up front, because you'll just make more in the long run by paying up front. But yeah, audiobooks, if you don't have an audiobook, definitely get that done. It's a much easier process than you're thinking. All right. Let's take a look at some of these questions here. All right, we'll keep going. Hey, is this good info? Are we learning something today? Has this been helpful, everybody? Okay, I really wish this was more interactive and I could hear you and see you but one day I'm sure technology will be a little easier that we can all do that, I'm sure. All right. Let's talk about building a following. One of the most important things that you want to do is make sure you're collecting your customers' information from Amazon. Now, when you sell something on Amazon, they are not your customer, they're Amazon's customer. You get zero information, right? So you need to have what's called a lead magnet, something that will entice your customer to opt in, and they will give you their email address to get this extra information. So like we're talking relationships, right? Okay. Maybe you're going to have something like you're going to have in there. Maybe it's like the 10 easiest things to get over your shyness. That'll be a bonus book. And it could just be a short book, but it'll be a bonus book inside your ebook, inside your paperback, right? And the audio. And so they'll want that information because it's tied with what they just bought. So they go to what's called a squeeze page. I have videos on my YouTube channel that show you kind of how to do this. So if you're lost with that, don't worry, just the YouTube channel. And they'll enter their email address, and then it'll automatically you can set it up automatically, so they'll get the free info. Now you've got their email. That's so important, right? There's marketing saying the money's in the list. What do you do with that email? Well, now you can build a relationship with them, right? Business is all about building relationships. That's what sales is. It's a relationship between two people. So now you can send them valuable information that's going to help solve their problem. If you're in fiction, right? Fiction, usually if you have a story, a great lead magnet is maybe it's a prequel to something that'll give the reader a bit more information about a certain twist in the plot. So that might be the lead magnet. So it depends on just what your niche is and everything. It'll vary from niche to niche, but you have to have a lead magnet, because then you collect their email, build a relationship with them, but then you can also sell them more books. Let them know, hey, my next book is coming out here, and it just opens up so many more doors for you. Are there questions on email list building or anything along those lines? I got one more thing, and then we can open it up for some more Q&A if you'd like. Okay, so the last thing I'll touch on here is AMS ads. How many of you are running Amazon ads to your books? Amazon ads, it's Amazon Marketing Services is what AMS stands for. How many of you are currently using that? Daniel, setting up the lead magnet will be on the Amazon platform. It's something that you set up in your book, and you set up a squeeze page. It's off of Amazon. there will, you know what I'll do? Let me just see. I'll see if I'll go to my YouTube and I'll just send you guys, I'll link the playlist directly to you. So you have it. Just give me a second here. Okay. All right. So perfect. All right. So I've put the link for my email, how to build your email list. It's in the chat box right there. So you can go on there. I'm very active. I respond to pretty much every comment. So if you have additional questions on there, if you're stuck on something, just comment on the page. All right, let's see. Max says, I'm looking to listen to the strategies to roll in dollars. Excellent. Perfect. Oh, thank you so much for summing up those points. That is great. All right. Perfect. Love to know your strategies. Okay. It's all good. Typos. It's no worries. All right. So AMS ads. This is a great way. It can be very inexpensive if you do it the right way. But it's a great way to target your books. Actually, and what I'll do is Mecca, I should have asked you this. Is it okay? There's a free course on AMS ads that my buddy Dave Chesson, the Kindlepreneur, has. It's a completely free course that walks you through how to set up AMS ads for your books. Like I said, it's totally free. Mecca, let me know if it's okay to link to send that in the comments. Sorry to put you on the spot there. But AMS ads is something that I've used to turn around books that were not selling, just using AMS ads to bring them back. It helps get more visibility for your books. And visibility starts a snowball effect on Amazon. Because once people start buying your books, Amazon does start promoting your book a little bit more. So it's all about what will make Amazon more money. When you make Amazon more money, they will promote your stuff more. Just keep that in mind. When you can bring Amazon more money, they will promote your stuff more. So email list. When you send an email and you have a link in there to buy your book, and people from the email, they click that link. Amazon knows somebody clicked the link from an email that so-and-so sent. They know that you're now sending outside traffic to Amazon's platform that person purchased. That tells Amazon's algorithm that, hey, that's good. And they start boosting your book when that happens enough. Because now what are you doing? You're bringing Amazon customers. You're bringing them more revenue. So they reward you in giving your book some more visibility. It starts showing up. It starts going up the sales rank. So that's why building an email list can be such a powerful thing, or just sending outside traffic using social media to send outside traffic to your books. It can be such a powerful thing for your sales. Let me put the link in here. So this is a link. It's a free Amazon AMS course. Yeah, it's a free Amazon AMS course that Dave Chesson, he has a great blog, The Kindlepreneur, lots of free resources on there that you can check out to really, if you don't know anything about AMS, spend, I think it's like an hour and a half to go through his entire thing. It'll teach you, it'll bring you up to speed so you know enough to start creating ads and going. So hopefully that helps all of you on there. That's all the info I have written down. So if there are some questions, but whatever, I'd love to dive in there. Oh boy, I'm gonna butcher this name, but you'd like to know how to convert books to audio. Just go to ACX, set up your account, acx.com, set up your account, and they have narrators on there that you can actually use. And you can either do a royalty split, which I don't recommend, or you can just give them a bid, $20, $30, $40 per finished hour, and you're able to get a narrator for your books. It's a really, it's an easier process than what you're thinking. Cool. Excellent. Yeah. So if you're just joining us, welcome. Say hi. This is the Q&A part. So go ahead. Any questions? It can be specific to your book, specific to your niche. What are you struggling with? What could I help you with? Like I said, I'm still good for time. If you want to continue, we definitely can here. I can't tell if it's just delayed or if nobody has any more questions. So, Mecca, you let me know what you'd like me to do next year. I do. Where is it? Very helpful. Excellent. Please, is the book trailer and video in it very compulsory? For creating an author page on Amazon? No. Creating an author page on Amazon, anyone can set it up. You just go to authorscentral.amazon.com, I believe. If you just Google Author Central Amazon, you'll get the correct website. Super easy to set that up. You don't need a picture. You don't need anything if you want. Now, keep in mind, my best student, he doesn't have an Author Central account set up for his books at all. Just doesn't need it. A small percentage of people actually care and look into it. A very small percentage. The majority, they're just buying the book. They'll look at a couple of reviews and hit buy. Monetization versus via Amazon. Any marketing strategies to share with us? Ranking your book, right? Getting the right keyword, and then running AMS ads. I think those are the two most underutilized things that most publishers and authors don't do. Those have made the biggest difference for me and my students. Excellent. Can you give some guidance on enrollment for one's book on the KDP option? Very good. So Kindle has what's called the KDP Select program. It's essentially Netflix for books. So customers can pay, I think we pay $10 a month, and you can purchase and read as many books, or there's a limit to how many books per month, but you're just borrowing them. And as a publisher, you're paid based on how many pages the person reads. So enrolling your book in KDP Select is something that I recommend because Amazon wants that. Whatever is going to make Amazon happy, they're going to reward you for it. So definitely enrolling it. Now, if you do enroll it, you can't have your ebook for sale anywhere else. You can still have your paperback for sale or your audio books, for sale somewhere else, but your ebook can only be sold via Amazon. But we talked about that. Majority of online sales, they come directly from, the Amazon platform. So you're not really missing out on anything. Okay. Thanks. Excellent. Right. So let me send you guys. Let me just grab it. So I have my book. It's the self-publishing blueprint here, and hopefully you can see that there. And basically, what I did is I've taken all the steps that were in my course, summarized it with the step-by-step on how to get to that first 1,000. So we talked about like the keyword research, niche research, how to rank your book. I believe I even touch on building your email list, publishing your book, some things to look out for on Amazon. Book creation we go into, how to rank it, get reviews, and there's some bonus areas as well. The book is free. You just cover a couple bucks for the shipping. But since all of you are in Nigeria, there is an ebook version that would be probably a lot better to get. They ship it ground via the US, so it might take like a month or so to get to Nigeria. It took 3 weeks to get to Mexico here, and it literally came from right above us. So the ebook version, it's like $5. I will send the link. Put the link there, so you can check it out, and if that's something you want to grab, you can. You're most welcome to grab that as well. And I'm just reading some of the other. Would you encourage self-publishing? Yeah, like self-publishing, right? Like you talk to anyone who did traditional publishing, they're like, oh, self-publishing. You know, honestly, it's like what Blockbuster said when Netflix came around. Netflix, who's going to use that? Where's Blockbuster now? Now, this might be hard because I don't know if there was Blockbuster in Nigeria, but that video rental stores, okay? Netflix destroyed them. So self-publishing is kind of the way things are going. You don't need a big publishing house to back you anymore. You just don't. You can make a lot of money with self-publishing. You can get your book, right? It's just, the internet has changed so much. It's changed the rules for the publishing world. Okay. All right. Are there any other questions that anybody has? Somebody asked, it was just talking about Amazon delivery. This book is actually, it's not shipped. It's not on Amazon. It's fulfilled myself. So, and it takes forever to get overseas. And the last resource I'll put here is I do have a self-publishing course as well. So if anyone's interested in that, they could definitely check that out. I put the link there as well. Like I said, I focus primarily on nonfiction, but it's a step-by-step video course as well. So giving you guys all the resources that you have there, my YouTube channel, my book, and then, my course. I'm an active publisher myself. I have about 30 odd books, all with pen names though, so you won't find a lot of Emeka Osai on there. But I love using Amazon as a platform to feed the family and to help people increase their income, build some freedom for themselves, and design a lifestyle. So hopefully today's been helpful for you all. And if you have any questions, like I said, comment on any of the videos on my YouTube channel if you have questions on those, and I'll see those at some point. Yeah, other than that, I think we're good, Emeka, right? I'll just get confirmation before I hit end. What do you choose to use pen names or? Pen names. I use pen names because I don't write the books myself. I have several ghostwriters that do the work, that do the writing myself. This was the only book that I've ever written myself. It took me way longer than ever, and it's a little booklet. It's like 60 odd pages, and it took me forever. So there's a reason I'm not a writer. So I use pen names. There's a couple other questions about pen names. We'll just answer those. Excellent. Does it not rid you of credits? No, I still own 100% of the rights to the books because I'm the publisher. The ghostwriter is a ghostwriter. They just write the book for me, and they sell it to me, right? I pay them, and I got full rights and full credits for the book, hence publishing it on Amazon, collecting the royalties, and so on. Perfect. Excellent. It was great chatting with all of you. Hope you all have a wonderful, fantastic evening. Look forward to connecting with you at some point. I hope our paths do cross. Till next time, everyone. Speak to you all soon. Happy publishing.